All right. How you doing? It is the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Welcome to the Open Mic Broadcast Network and another episode of the Mike Prince Show. We come to you each and every day right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Our website is obn-radio.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Radio Guy. Instagram is Radio Guy 22. And don't forget the YouTube channel, Open Mic Broadcast Network. I tell you what, I need to hit 100 subscribers by the weekend. Can you all do that for me? Go to the website. Well, go to the YouTube site. It is Open Mic Broadcast Network. It's spelled O-P-E-N, capital M-I-C, and then, of course, Broadcast Network. I'm 9 down. Can you help a brother out over the weekend? Subscribe. You'll never miss an episode or anything that we have coming out from the network. We got so much to talk to you about in a very, very short time. It is rival weekend in basketball throughout the conference of the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and it's wild card weekend. Plus, we'll talk about what do numbers really mean. We'll have that and a whole lot more. So let us jump right on in today's episode. Once again, I hope that you're off to a very productive day. The warming up is gathering around here in the Texas area, so I'm very, very thankful for that. As we may mention, it is a huge weekend coming up in basketball. Prairie View will be taking on Texas Southern, both men and women. Yeah, Pine Bluff will be opening up against Mississippi Valley. That's always huge. And all the other rivals that are lined up and marked up for this weekend. Should be a very, very entertaining weekend of basketball. Prairie View 2-0 right now under the leadership of Coach Byron Smith. The women are 1-1 under the leadership of Coach Raven Justice. So after this weekend, you got a really good measuring stick for Prairie View in particular because, let's be honest, they've been chasing the Tigers. But I believe it's about time for the Tigers to get caught up to. And so with the Tigers being caught up to after this weekend, it's not that the season's over with, but it'll be a good position for Prairie View leading into their first conference road trip. So it's a very exciting time. It's going to be happening down in Houston on the campus of Texas Southern. So you know it's going to be the who's who, if you would, of the HBCU this weekend. Another exciting thing coming up this weekend is the wild card playoffs first round of the NFL. You'll have Tennessee at Kansas City, and you'll have the Atlanta Falcons traveling to the now Los Angeles Rams. And a very, very interesting matchup to open up the weekend play. That will actually be on Saturday. The Sunday matchup will be just as intriguing. Buffalo will be taking on Jacksonville, and Carolina will be taking on the New Orleans Saints. So I guess I really got to pick one. Not that I really care. You all know that you follow this show. There's only one team that I pull for in the NFL. But since it is wild card weekend, I guess I'll go ahead and make my picks. These won't be too rational. They definitely won't be. Well, one's going to be emotional. I can tell you that right now. It's definitely going to be emotional. And the other ones, I'm just going to go basically on the logic that I understand and just my gut feeling, if you would. Game number one, Tennessee taking on Kansas City. I believe Kansas City, being at home, they should be able to take care of the Titans. They're actually favored by 3.5 points. Not that I really care about those type things, but they are the favorite. Now, here's my emotional pick. Atlanta at Los Angeles. Los Angeles has had an outstanding year. I personally take exception to that because they should be in St. Louis. I feel like they did my city wrong. And because of that, I am going with Atlanta. I really believe Atlanta is capable of pulling off the road upset. It would be considered slightly an upset. They actually have the Rams up by 5.5, picked to win this one. But I really believe that Atlanta can beat the Rams, and I'm in particular hoping that Atlanta beat the Rams because the Rams left St. Louis. Now, that's my emotional pick. Another interesting one would be Buffalo at Jacksonville. To be quite honest with you, I have this almost as a pick'em. As a pick'em. I know McCoy has been injured and he's been nursing an ankle, but I really think it's going to be a very closer than anticipated contest. They have Jacksonville picked to win. I'm going to go with Jacksonville, but I would not be surprised if Buffalo wins. So I'm on the record for saying Jacksonville, and I would not be surprised if Buffalo finds a way to pull that one out. And then you have probably the most intriguing matchup in the first round, Carolina at New Orleans, round 3. You've got to be in favor of Drew Brees and company with what he has shown that he still has left in the tank. So I say that the Saints over Carolina, Jacksonville over Buffalo, Atlanta over Los Angeles, and Kansas City over the Titans. So I'm on record. We have it. That's that. And speaking of that's that, there have been numbers going out talking about the NFL, and viewership has been down according to the Nielsen ratings, saying that they're down 9.7%. Might as well say 10%. Viewership has been down. And of course, our current president would like to take credit for that, and a lot of people are blaming this dwindle in numbers due to the protests of the national anthem. And I say, hold your horses, everyone. Now, although they're saying viewership is down 9.7% to be exact, but we're going to round it up and say 10%, the buzzword that I have yet to hear is that the NFL is losing money. You know why? Because they're not losing money. And yes, it's obvious that viewership is going to be down. And it's nothing that you should really even be panicking about, because I guarantee you the NFL is not panicked at all. Let me help bring some clarity, if you would, to this current situation. Viewership is down according to Nielsen ratings. Nielsen ratings are the ratings that are predicated upon television broadcasts. Think about it. When I was coming up, NBC was your AFC games. CBS were your NFC games. ABC was the Monday Night Football. That was it. So guess what? Viewer numbers were going to skyrocket. Then came along Fox. And at one time they started rotating, so now you have NBC, CBS, ESPN, and Fox all with their hands in the cookie jar, and everyone is still making money. Then came Amazon Prime, Twitter, Facebook, social media onslaught, Verizon, all of these other entities, and where you could take the game with you literally. So of course the numbers are going to look like they're down. It's not because people are protesting. It's not because the president has said so. It's because people have many other options now. And because people have other options, the Nelson numbers are not looking as strong as they used to be once upon a time. But I guarantee you, money is being made. You have way many options and possibilities of viewing your game of choice. So I think that's one of those numbers that, although the numbers are there, that's a number that I truly, truly would not even begin to panic over. Another number that everyone is counting, everybody knows the SEC. The SEC had 9 teams from their conference to make bowl appearances. And they're 4-5 in bowl appearances. And after the championship game, they're going to be 5-6 in bowl appearances. What does that really mean? What that means is that the SEC is still the strongest football conference in the Power 5. The SEC lost, and let me give a shout out to UCF. UCF came in and beat Auburn, and you got people from Auburn Nation talking about, well, they just kind of went through the motions. They wasn't really interested in that game. They were still mulling over the fact that they blew an opportunity to play in the playoffs. Well, that's not my problem. If you felt like you should have been in the playoffs, you should have made a statement in the game you had, your last game. Let's show everybody that this was a fluke. UCF brought your hat to you. So it is what it is. But nonetheless, it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. The SEC will be taking care of business January the 8th. Some of you say you won't watch, but I know I will. And I don't have a dog in the race, but I'm sure enough looking for a good game. And since we were going over numbers, I figured I might as well pull some numbers that are meaningful, at least to me. And those are the numbers for my beloved Panthers for the 2017 football campaign. They were 3rd in the conference in scoring, 4th in the conference on scoring defense. Let's weigh that check and balance out right there. You're 3rd in scoring, but you're 4th in the conference in scoring defense. That's not where you want to be. Remember, there are 10 schools in the conference. So you're kind of in that happy medium area. We'll say 5 is going to be a good area to be in. Really and truly, if you want to be a dominant force, you want to be in the top 3. But that 4 is kind of one of those hinging situations. Then you were 2nd in scoring offense total points. 4th total points of defense. 2nd against the conference in rushing. That is a little bit skewed, if you ask me. And here's why I say that. It's a spread conference. Everybody's running a spread, which means they're going to be throwing the ball 60% of the time. Even as much as 75% of the time, the ball is going to be thrown. So even though you're 2nd against the rush in the conference, impressive number. Here's a number of intrigue. You're 8th in the conference on passing defense. Remember, there are only 10 schools. You can stop the run, but you can't stop the thing that's being done 60 to 75% of the chance. I'm going somewhere. Just stick with me. 3rd in passing efficiency. Not bad. That's an offensive stat. Then you were 7th in passing efficiency defensively. Hear what I'm saying? Follow where I'm going. 5th in defensive interceptions. And you were first in field goals, 10 of 12. First in point after touchdowns, 42 of 43. You were third in sacks, but you were fourth in sacks allowed. So when you look at the numbers are indicating that we need an SOS for the defense. Fix the D, and the offense will follow. Or should I rephrase it? Fix the D, and the wins will follow. Offense has not been an issue. And speaking of issues, I wouldn't call them necessary issues. We've gotten a little bit more information about the coaching assembling for Coach Eric Dooley and the New Look Panthers. Ted White will be the offensive coordinator. Terrence Graves will be the defensive coordinator, which means and more than likely indicates that Ralph Street will not be on the current Eric Dooley staff. And I'm going to inject a hypothetical needle right there. But just from the look of things. Now, here's the question. We know that Eric Dooley handled the quarterbacks while at Grambling. And we know that Ted White's going to be your offensive coordinator. My question is, if KJ Black is retained, as has been whispered that he would be one of the coaches remaining on staff with Eric Dooley, where does that put him? That's going to be a very interesting scenario. Would he be okay going to another position? Here's another thing that could be injected, and this is just all hypothetical. Don't read no more than what it is. Remember, I'm a talk show host, and that's what I do. What if KJ left Prairie View for a year or two to get some outside experience and try to return back to enhance his coaching career? That's a potential scenario. Hadn't heard anything. I'm just throwing thoughts out there. But it's very interesting and intriguing to see what could develop from this. Regardless, things are in motion. And I've been getting response from you, and trust me, we're working on it. We're working on trying to get Eric Dooley here at the Mike Prince Show on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. As you know, we try to respect people's space and time. He's just gotten in, getting adjusted. But I'm feeling you. And I give you my word that we're working on it expeditiously. And speaking of expeditiously, I've got to go. Huge weekend for Prairie View, Texas Southern and the rest of the SWAC basketball games. Wild card playoff as they move the NFL season right along. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay warm. Stay dry. Stay mindful that is bigger than you. And until the next time, you be blessed. And we'll see you on the other side.